Hi everyone, it's Bethany. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am beginning to craft for Valentine's Day, so I thought I would take you along with me and show you the Valentine's Day crafts that I'm going to have on my craft table today. I have a fun little variety. I think I have about 6, and I'm excited to get all of these things put together. As always, I linked everything that I'm using in the description box below the video, so be sure to click on the title of the video to open up that description box, and then you'll see all of the materials and supplies that I'm using to bring each of these things together. All right, let's go ahead and get started crafting. I can't wait to show you what I'm working on, and hopefully you are inspired along the way. Okay, so I want to start off my crafting by making a cute little candy jar, and I found this at Target in their little dollar spot. I instantly fell in love with it, and one of the best things about it that I didn't realize until I brought it home and placed it into the dishwasher was it is full. So I was kind of thinking the jar would stop here and then you would fill it up with candy or whatnot that far, but no, it goes all the way down, which is simple, but it's just, I don't know, that made me so happy. More candy. So I am absolutely obsessed with peanut butter M&Ms. Not peanut M&Ms, but the peanut butter. They are delicious. I have a slight addiction to them. So I am going to be filling this jar up with peanut butter M&Ms. And first of all, I need to decide which side I want my little, what should I put it on? I want to put a little cute sweet treat vinyl saying on here, but I kind of have to decide what would be the front of this. So I don't know. I can't decide. I kind of think I'm going to do this. Should I? Or would I place it on my counter like this so that I could get the full effect of, you know, I'm going to do this because then when I place it on my counter, I have the little handle thing here. I've got the wheel. Okay, I probably should have figured that out before I pressed record, but you can't really go wrong there. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of rubbing alcohol. I just have it in this little spray bottle here, and I'm going to, even though I just got it out of the dishwasher, just spray this down. And the reason I put it in the dishwasher was because the second I'm done decorating this, I want to put my candy in there. If it lasts that long, that is. Okay, I will put font information down below, but I just spelled out Sweet Treat with a fun font, whoops, that I found. Hopefully I didn't ruin that. Let me grab this little middle to this E. There we go. Sometimes they get a little stuck there. Okay, but I've been having fun now, especially ever since the Design Space update where you can save your favorite fonts. It makes it so much easier to pick a font. And if you don't know how to do that, I will link a video that I created on how to save your favorite fonts in Cricut Design Space because it's so helpful. I am one that will spend too long to even admit. I don't even want to tell you how long it takes me to choose a font. But since that update, I feel like I spend less time just searching and searching for a font. Then I can just see all my favorites, and that narrows it down quite a bit for me. Okay, let me, for some reason, this one shouldn't be that big of a stinker to weed, but sometimes that's just the way it goes. I also, when I was at Target, I found obviously this really cute jar. And did I mention it was in like their little dollar spot? I want to say it was probably $3 or $5, but I can't remember. I took that little tag off, but they have all of their Valentines candy out. Ugh, so yum. I love it. You know what my favorite is the, well, besides my beloved peanut butter M&Ms, my favorite is when they bring out the little holiday Reese's. And so now they have the little heart Reese's. Oh, and you know, Christmas time, they do the Christmas trees. And Halloween, or at Halloween time, they do the cute little pumpkins. And no matter what shape, those are just the most delicious thing ever. Okay, this is my little decal Sweet Treat. I just thought that was a really fun and simple font. And I've got this all ready to go, so let me grab some transfer tape. Okay, I have my transfer tape here. Let me grab just a little corner. Okay, place it right over, and I will burnish the top and then flip this over, burnish the back, And let's put this right center. That will help me to visually center this. And I'm going to peel the backer away from the tape. I find that that's so much easier. And getting that as straight as I can, top, bottom, side to side. I think that looks good to me. So there we go. Okay, I'm going to bring my scraper right back in. And then that fun little contrast with the M&Ms will be so fun. And I just loved this little fun little idea. And you know what? This really doesn't even have to be. It doesn't scream Valentine's Day, right? So this could stay up all year if you'd like. I like this for a little Valentine's Day countertop item. I just love that little pop of red and pink in my kitchen. I think it's so fun. Okay, so there is our first little craft. Just a simple little decal on this really fun little jar. I think that's so fun. I actually really like that font. I think it's so simple and it doesn't steal away from the really unique and funness of this jar. So I really like that. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to our next little craft for Valentine's Day. The next thing that I would like to do is I purchased the wood from Michael's, and I'll do my best to link them down below. These are really nice little 5x5 blocks, and I add some chalk paint just to the front of them, and so I added a white chalk paint. I like leaving the edges of bare wood. I think it adds a little bit of dimension, and I just style-wise really feel like that really meets my style. And then in another video that I did recently, I did a video about 37 things I wanted out of my craft room, meaning 37 things that have been sitting around my craft space for so long, and one of those things was pesky removable vinyl, which I don't tend to use. In fact, it was actually the colors that I don't intend to use. So if you have any removable vinyl in colors that you just time and time again find that you shy away from, mine were a bright pink and I think it was a bright yellow. And those are just colors that I just don't tend to design with quite often. So in that video, I was teaching how you can make a stencil with your vinyl. And again, I'll link that video for you in case you want to watch it. It's a great way to use either smaller pieces of vinyl that you are not really sure you're going to use in upcoming crafts, or if you have colored vinyl that you just, I mean, I have really, really bright orange vinyl that I'm never going to craft with. So instead of tossing it, I always just keep it to the side because I know that I can make some stencils with it. So long story short, or short story long, really, I have these little wooden blanks, and I told you in that video that we would circle back to them. We did the little stenciling before, and now I am going to add a little vinyl to the front. I thought these could be somewhat like conversation hearts, and I thought that would just be a cute little piece of decor and gift. So I did cut out all of my vinyl on my Cricut about 3 days ago, so I'm wondering if that is why my vinyl is less than helpful tonight when weeding. That could be it, because usually this weeds effortlessly. Okay, there we go, the last little bit. So I did 2 little fun sayings that are usually on conversation hearts. I did be mine and love you. I'll go ahead and trim these apart. And again, the font information that I chose will be down in that description box below. And I'll also list the paint that I used. Okay, so I'm gonna do this little be mine right here and then love you here. So reusing that transfer tape that we just used to do our jar, our little candy jar, let's go ahead. Now I would go and fill that candy jar right now, but I have zero self-control and I would not be able to focus on crafting if I had those yummy treats in this craft space. So that is just gonna have to be for later. There is that. And center visually. I think that looks nice. And there we go. Okay. And without scratching my paint, I'm just gonna grab a little corner of that transfer tape. Isn't that cute? I think that is really fun, and you could have so much fun with the color of paint that you use. In fact, if you want to do a little series and maybe do a yellow one and maybe a lilac one and then maybe a light green one, all those little colors that you see on those conversation hearts, that would be super, super cute. So again, I'm going to burnish the front and back. That just really helps release the vinyl from the cutting sheet. And there we go. I think that's a really fun font too for this little style of decor. Okay, I think that looks good. There we go. And sometimes after using transfer tape on painted things, it kind of gets a little filmy. And I don't know if you can really see, but it kind of makes the transfer tape a little filmy and cloudy. So sometimes that kind of affects the stickiness of it. So you may find that after doing it on a painted surface or on a wood surface, you might find that you want to toss it a little quicker than you would when using it on, you know, glass or something like that. So just be mindful of that. It's okay to toss transfer tape once it's losing its stickiness. Okay, so there are the two little pieces. I think those are so cute. Really fun pieces of decor. Really fun way to do a little tiered tray decor. And I think these are really fun. They'd make for really cute gifts as well. And I think those are really simple to do. Again, also using some of those materials in your craft room that you might find you are passing by. So I'll definitely link that video with making the stencils, but I'm happy that we were able to circle back and finish up this little craft. And I think this makes for a really, really fun piece of Valentine's Day decor. Okay, the next thing I want to do is, again, you've seen me use these time and time again on my channel. I have found these at Dollar Tree, and they are nice little beaded frames, and I love them because they are easy to disassemble, and you can use just the frame but create a different piece of decor. And these are so fun to interchange for, you know, throughout the year and make them seasonal. So I believe these are 5 inches by 5 inches. Yes. So what I'm going to do is take a piece of cardstock, and I just have an 80-pound piece of cardstock here. I'm going to run this through my mini trimmer really quickly. Again, 5 inches and 5 inches, 5 by 5. So now I have a brand new blank canvas to work with. So what I will do is, I'm not going to attach it to the back because I want this to remain interchangeable. So I'm just going to make sure that this fits in here before I put this all back together. But I want to put my design on separately in just a moment. So let me just make sure this is going to fit. Actually, I just need to check the paper. And that looks good. So once you put the paper in there, look, you have a brand new blank white slate. And I love that. So my paper is good. I can set all of my little pieces for my frame aside. And what I'm going to do is I grabbed a little piece of iron-on. Now, you can absolutely use adhesive vinyl, but when I was looking through, my pinks, I saw that I had just the color that I wanted in iron-on, and you can indeed iron on to cardstock. So I'm going to really quickly weed this design. It's so, so cute, and I will link where I found this SVG down below. That way, if you like this SVG as well, then you can purchase it as well and create. Okay, so taking out all of the background area. And this is also, given the small nature of this, a great way to use those little scrap pieces of vinyl. Okay, so going through really quickly, I'm going to get all of my little middle pieces out, and we will be ready to place this on. Now, I'll also show you the heat guide and show you how you can look up all of your heat settings. There goes my lovely heater. It is the coldest day of the year. Well, I don't know that it's the coldest day of the year, but it's windy and cold today, and my goodness, we're frozen. So I am feeling lots of gratitude right now for the hum of the heater. because it is chilly. Okay, finishing up all of my middles here. There we go. Now this says, "You are my one and only," which I think is so sweet all the time, but I thought this was a really cute little Valentine's sentiment that could make for some fun decor. So this is an SVG, however, so I don't have font information, but I will link the SVG. So now here we go. Now remember, when you are doing an iron-on project and you're cutting iron-on or HTV on your Cricut machine, you want to mirror your image because you're going to place the material through your machine upside down. So if you need help with cutting iron-on and HTV, I'll link my playlist for those materials, and you can go ahead and use one of those videos that is a little bit more slow and walks you through each step. So now bringing in my little heat mat here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my cardstock down. I have my little mini Easy Press set to low, and on the little mini, you'll see that there are 3 little wavy marks right here. Now, the first one is just low. Then if you have 2 lit up, that's medium. And if you have 3 lit up, that is high. And you just use this one button to toggle between all of the heat settings. Now, on the heat guide, let me restart it so that you can see. When you bring up the Cricut heat guide on your phone or on your computer, what you're going to do is you're going to select the actual device you're using. So I'm going to swipe over a couple times until I see the Cricut Easy Press Mini. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down. My heat transfer material is going to be Everyday Iron-On. You're just going to select whichever one you have in front of you. In the next little drop down, you're going to select your base material. In my case, this is cardstock. And then I'll click apply. And that is how I know that I want my Easy Press Mini to be set to low. It's also going to tell me that I'm going to press for 25 seconds, constant movement, firm pressure, and then once it has cooled, it says slowly remove liner when cool to touch. So we're going to let our actual project cool before putting it or peeling up the liner. So, and it does give you a little bit of walkthrough if you need a little bit more help, but that is how easy it is to use the heat guide. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to really quickly pre-press my paper, not too much. I don't want to warp it too much. There we go. Okay, and then that just removes any moisture, make sure it's really, really nice and dry. And then I'm going to center this visually, just like this. Okay. Now, usually I like to place my designs when I'm doing framed things. I like to put my frame together before placing my design on, because sometimes when you go to put your design into your frame, sometimes the design shifts down, and then once you put it in, sometimes it ends up being off center. But this is a very snug fit since I trimmed that down just exact, so it will be okay. But you just want to be aware of that when you are doing little projects like this. I think that is center. I think maybe I need to move it just a little to the left, and that should be good. Okay, I think I like that just a tad more. Now I gotta move it up. Oh goodness. Just a little. Okay. And I think that should be good. It's kind of hard with some SVGs to get it just so. Okay, now it said 25 seconds. And you know, sometimes it doesn't even take that long. So you could always want to monitor the project that's right in front of you. And if you find that your iron-on is laying down a lot quicker, then you can obviously be done a lot quicker. So you always want to just monitor what's in front of you, because I don't know that's going to take that long. Again, constant movement. Sometimes I get questions on why I'm moving this press around. This press, the one in front of me, is intended to be moved. So usually other presses you just place down and you don't move around, but this is one of those products that's intended to be moved. I think that was nowhere near 25 seconds, but I think we are good. So one down here. I'm gonna let this cool. And then the best thing about the mini is if you need to reheat it, or if you have any little problem areas, you can do a focus press in those areas. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and really quickly just set this on a cool surface, and all that means is just placing this on either your countertop. In my case, I'm gonna do this little glass mat, and when you do that, it draws the heat out really quickly, and then you can keep crafting because it just kind of speeds up the whole process. So now that it is cool to touch, I'm gonna monitor everything as I peel this up and make sure everything has laid down. Again, I was not near 25 seconds. But notice mine was laying down, so that's perfect. Now, if for some reason you find that some areas are peeling up, you're just gonna take your liner, lay it back over your design, and then you can use some more heat. And again, if you found that maybe just this area was being tricky and not laying down, then you would not have to heat the whole thing up, but when you have this little mini, you can just heat up a little spot. Okay, so now that that is good, I'm gonna take that, put that away. I can go ahead and turn this off. Again, once you press the button, it goes hotter, hotter, but if you press it one more time, it goes completely off. Okay, so we can move that out of the way and we can reassemble. Okay, now place it right back into my frame here. Make sure those prongs are opened wide enough so that I can place this back in. And then I will just place and press those back into their spot. And I have a brand new little piece of decor. So be sure to check out Dollar Tree. They have these usually, I mean, I usually pick up a few every time I go, but I think these are really fun. They make for really fun gifts. I love the really nice crisp look of the white frame paired with the natural wood bead. I think it's just really pretty, and I have done this probably a half a dozen times on my channel, and no matter what I put on the inside, everything always looks so, so nice because of the neutral frame and then the white bead. So very, very, very wonderful for all times of year. And again, because we didn't tape or secure that paper inside, you can simply reopen this back up, slip the little paper out, and you can reuse your frame for each season that you have. So very, very fun, very simple, and also very, very cheap to make. Last year I purchased this adorable apron. It's a beautiful pale pink with some red hearts, and it was so pretty. But crafting got away from me and I didn't end up using it. So I saw it in my little stash for Valentine's Day, and I thought this is going to be the perfect little idea for this video. So I'm going to make myself a cute little apron. I'm going to set that to the side. I had two tiny pieces of scrap glitter iron-on, and they were just the right size. So I'm gonna go ahead and weed these out. I used two different fonts to write out "One Loved Mama," and I thought that was just a cute little sentiment for the front of this apron. And because you have the ability to personalize with your cutting machine, you could obviously make this for anyone and spell anything that you want on it. These little aprons like this make such great gifts, and I love doing them. Okay, so I think I purchased this at Target Dollar Spot as well, and again, it was probably around $5. So I'm grabbing just the insides. Again, font information will be down below. I did use two different fonts because I like to pair a script font and a more of a block font together. I think that's just very appealing. And there is our first little layer. And because I did these separate from one another, I was able to cut them separately and utilize two smaller pieces of iron-on. Okay, let me grab this little piece and weed this out. There we go. Okay, I love how these look together. I think they're just so pretty. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use my larger heat press, and I'm going to take my apron over. I'm going to pre-press my apron, and that again just makes sure there is no moisture in the material. Then I will go ahead and use a lint roller to clean the surface to make sure there's no lint, and then I'll press this on. Okay, so I'm just letting this cool down again since I set it on a cooler surface. It is quicker to cool down, which I love because then I can just continue crafting. Now I do need to run this through the wash because it got a little dirty at the store, but that's okay. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to monitor, now that it's cool, I'll monitor as I peel everything up, and these look like they're peeling up together, but they are separate. Oh, interesting, it's kind of taking some of that color with it. Okay, just from the red hearts, from that red ink, but it looks really, really nice. Isn't that cute? I love that, and I really, really love the glitter. I found this glitter iron-on Amazon. I am obsessed with it. I love it. So I'll link it down below. It's just so pretty. In fact, I need to purchase another roll because, as you saw, those two little pieces were the end of my big roll. So I love how that turned out. I love the simple glitter. I think it's really fun and just nice and subtle, but just exciting enough. Okay, so that is finally done and I can finally use that. In fact, I actually bought some little chocolate molds to make with the kids this year. We're gonna make little pink chocolate hearts. I'll try to post them on Instagram if they turn out. Okay, I'm also going to assemble, probably in the next video, some really cute Valentine's Day baskets for my girls. I love doing that for the holidays. Just makes it a really fun and exciting day. And I found these last year at Hobby Lobby. Again, this year I'm shopping my craft space, so I'm trying not to go to the craft store unless I really need to, and instead I'm using all of those things that I have fallen in love with but maybe didn't have enough time to craft with. So these are just really simple and cute and small, so great for little kiddos. They are glass though, so you'll want to be mindful of that, but mine are okay using these little glass items at this point. So I'm going to use these. I love them, and I was going to make my little kiddos just a little hot cocoa. We like hot cocoa all year round, so they always love little fun seasonal things to sip out of. So I'm going to clean these off, and I thought I'll put these in their little baskets this year. Something just fun and easy. Okay, so I'm going to make sure it's nice and clean. Again, these have been in my craft room for a year. And I'm using my little cup cradle just to steady. Makes everything so much easier. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, I'll link the font information down below once more, but let's move those out of the way. I'm going to weed out my little design, and I'm just doing matching little cups. I think that's really fun, and I'll get these all weeded out. Okay, so I just spelled out loved using one of my new favorite fonts. I feel like I'm using it time and time again because no matter what word I spell with it, it's just too good. It looks great on everything. So I'm gonna get all of my weeding out of the way, and there we go. Okay, so hopefully I can do those baskets in the next video. I think I'm only gonna do one more Valentine's video this year. For some reason, sometimes Valentine's Day is one of my favorite holidays. Not my most favorite, but I love decorating for it and everything, but sometimes I find that I'm a little uninspired crafting wise with Valentine's Day. And I don't know why that is, but every year I kind of feel like it's a challenge for me. Do you have holidays that sometimes challenge you for crafting? I feel like I'm so confused on why, because as you know, I'm a pink lover. I love pinks, and I feel like Valentine's Day is just the Super Bowl for pink. But eventually I get inspired, and then I end up falling in love with the crafts that I do. Okay, so let's grab some transfer tape. Let's see if I can reuse. Oh, it's just barely big enough. I'm gonna reuse what I have been using this whole video, which is wonderful. Let's see if it's still working. We'll bring one of the cups in, just place it here. Okay, and again, burnish the front, turn this over, burnish the back, And still wonderful and sticky. Okay, I just wanted to keep these really simple and fun. Now you want to be mindful, vinyl is not food safe, so you don't want to place it too close to where the recipient is going to be sipping. So you want to give enough room for the lip to sip. For the lip to sip, that rhymes. So and it's naturally going to be okay with this design because there's a big dip right here, but you just want to be mindful with the design that you're using. So I'm going to place mine, I think there. And that looks good. Now I'm going to be careful. I'm going to go from the middle out. Okay, so I went middle to the right. Now I'm going to go middle to the left and just help it take on that curved surface. And that looks really good. Darn, I wish I had a third one for myself. I love that. So cute. Okay, peeling that up. And how darling is that? I love that. Okay, lather, rinse, repeat. I'm going to do the same thing right on here. And then I'll have 2 more things to put in these cute little baskets. Okay, now another thing to keep in mind is that when you're doing vinyl for drinkware, you want to make sure you hand wash only and avoid the microwave. Those are 2 things that you want to, if you're going to give this to someone, just give them that little reminder that will help them last longer. Okay, now with the scraper, and there we go. That was just easy peasy. And I love the simplicity of it. I think those are just so fun. They make for a fun gift. I love the little speckle of gold in these. Plus, I love the watercolor look. Plus, I didn't really even show you the inside. It kind of continues on for a little band on the inside as well. And I think these are just so pretty. So hopefully you can still find these. I'm not sure if they still have them this season, but very, very cute and fun. For my final craft this evening, I really wanted to make a fun little shirt for my little one. So I wanted to do a tone on tone. So I grabbed this really pretty pink. It's slightly a little bit darker than the shirt. So I think it's gonna look really, really nice. But given just the nice delicate and simplicity of this shirt, I thought a tone on tone would be just really, really pretty and simple. So font information will be linked down below as always. And I'm just going to weed out my iron-on. Now for this, I did look up my heat settings the same way, except I changed my material to cotton, and it told me I would need medium for 25 seconds, so I'm gonna go ahead. Now when you do this, it is initially orange. Once it turns green, then it will be ready, and it gives a little chime as well. So we'll just wait on that for a moment. I thought because this is just a small little area. I don't normally recommend the Easy Press Mini for shirts because usually you're doing an 8x8 or a 5x5, but because this is just a tiny little area, I thought this would be perfect. Now while this is preheating, I'm just going to prep my area. I'm just going to put it along this little top bib. Thought that would look really nice. Also, I'm going to clean this off really quickly. I'm going to lint roll the surface. Make sure there's no lint on there. Okay. There we are. And then, oh, I'm not sure if you could even hear that, but it did a little chime and now it's green. So we are good to go. Oh, isn't that going to be cute? I love the tone on tone. I love that. Okay, so I'm going to center that. And I think that looks good. Maybe over this way just a little bit. Oh, how fun. I love that. XOXO. Okay, now I am going to take my mini, and it said 25 seconds, constant movement. So I'll go ahead and do that. Again, monitoring what's in front of me, seeing if it needs to take a little longer or a little less. Okay, I did about 25 seconds there. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove my heat. I'm also going to remove the heat mat because the job of the heat mat is to obviously protect your surface, but also what it does is it takes the heat that you are placing on your garment, but it also brings it right back up and places it on the back side of your garment, it holds in the heat and brings it right back into your project, and that's also how it really is an effective heat tool. So by taking that away, you're removing that heat from the front and the back to draw out that heat. So if you're wondering why your project is not cooling and it's still on the heat mat, that is exactly why. Make sure it's on a cooler surface. Okay, you can literally feel that heat draw out, and then I'm gonna go ahead and monitor everything as I peel this up, but it laid down perfectly, and there we are. Isn't that cute? I love the simplicity of a tone on tone, and this is just a darling little shirt. I think that is so cute. Okay, I am loving how all of this turned out, even though sometimes Valentine's Day tends to leave me a little uninspired, which again, I'm not sure why, because in the end, I always love how everything turns out. But I love this treat jar. It's instantly going to be filled up, and it's probably equally instantly going to be emptied because I am just a sweet tooth type of girl. This shirt turned out darling. I love this. I love the simplicity of the tone on tone. Again, I think it pairs nicely with the style of the shirt, and I think it's just adorable. I love these two little pieces of decor. Again, a great way to do stenciling, but also adding a little vinyl to the front is super, super fun, and I think those are really little simple pieces of decor, but I think they're super fun as well. The apron I'm finally going to get some use out of. I cannot wait. I love the glitter. I'm not usually a glitter girl, but white glitter has my heart all the time. It's something that's simple, but it adds a little bit of fun as well. Again, I love bringing these to my channel. They're so fun to just decorate and personalize for the season, and I love how this one turned out as well. And then of course I have some items for the little Valentine's Day baskets that I hope to put together soon. And I think the simplicity of this font and design is just really, really gorgeous with the style of mug. I hope this was helpful for you. Let me know what you are crafting in your own space as well. If it's Valentine's Day related or not, I love hearing what you are doing in your own craft space. All right, be sure to give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.